So most of you guys know I was botched a little over a year ago now, getting plastic surgery for my eyes, left to completely fend for myself by this psychopathic doctor. And a lot of these doctors are sociopaths, but 99% of them just think of you as a quick paycheck. They don't care about you. They don't care if they mess up the surgery. It's disgusting and despicable, because after they mess up, they will protect themselves at all costs. And I don't know any other patients or any other victims of these plastic surgeries that have gone as far as I have in regards to spreading awareness and letting people know how they were treated and how horrible their experiences were. So I was able to find some doctors that were able to reverse the damage done to my vision. I still have bad vision. I can talk about that in another video. But lawyers, on the other hand, don't want anything to do with this case. Both lawyers and doctors are secret society members. They're in the club, and they will protect each other at all costs, unless you yourself remember. But
he's talking about a secret society of Jews.
That's another discussion as well. There were 3 or 4 lawsuits, I can't remember, against Dr. Taban in the California State Court. And I did reach out to those lawyers, but they didn't want to help me. So I can only assume that the people that those lawyers did help were secret society members. Now, due to the statute of...
He means Jews. And by the way, the idea that a lawyer wouldn't take up a civil case... They're getting paid whether they win or lose. So chances are Frank asked them to do it for free, and then they're like, yeah, get fucked. Or he made it obvious that he can't afford to pay them.
Changing the shape of your eye through facial implants and grinding down bones in your face. Sounds like a great idea where nothing could go wrong.
Yeah, anybody with any fucking sense would know that is a very, very risky procedure, and you're probably going to get fucked up. But Frank's retarded, and he said, I did all this research. You don't need to do any research. No, that's just a stupid idea. Thanks for the donation, Majin Buu.
Limitations on medical malpractice in California being 1 year, I don't really have a choice but to file the lawsuit myself and represent myself pro se, which is kind of despicable.
There's no chance. Really? One year? Yeah, no. In California, the law states that medical malpractice lawsuits must be filed within 1 year of the patient discovering the injury or within 3 years of the date that injury occurred. Whichever comes first. That's a very short time frame.
You know, this guy destroyed my face, basically ruined my life. I don't want to do YouTube anymore. I'm barely running my businesses, and now I have to, try to write up a lawsuit to get some remediation for this craziness. And we did make a video a month or 2 ago about how...
Is he putting up a fucking dono goal or anything? No. I'm surprised.
How all of these judges are dismissing my other cases, but who knows, maybe we'll have to get you guys to support me, and I'll have to hire people to stand outside these doctors' offices and these courthouses to hand out flyers, because these people are absolutely disgusting, and all they care about is how much money they can make and how good they can make their own lives at the expense of other people. So
this guy literally has a meat business where he fucking murders animals for money, and then he's saying these people are disgusting, they'll hurt people for money. Really? Oh, you don't say, jackass.
I'm just gonna kind of go over the lawsuit a little bit. You guys can read this yourself if you want to. I mean, you might need like a membership to the legal sites, but if you just Google Tufano v. Taban, you'll see like the cases were filed and all the motions and everything. And this is really just explaining factually what happened, truthfully, and just by doing that, it checks all the boxes for medical malpractice violations. So there's a lot of like legal literature, and that's what most lawyers and judges know, like all the relevant court cases that have happened. But I mean, it's really a bunch of nonsense. They'll reference one thing from a case from...
Yeah, I just thought of this. One of the reasons why some of these lawyers might not be willing to take up the case is probably because he signed a liability waiver, acknowledging potential effects from the procedure. So like strabismus, it was probably in a liability waiver that like one of the possible outcomes is you'll have strabismus. So if he was warned ahead of time and he signed a document, chances are he has absolutely no case.
19...
Like, especially if the liability waiver was specific enough to mention the exact, side effects he has no fucking case.
86 and use it to dismiss your claim. It's completely ridiculous. It's really stupid. And they can just kind of do what they want. But hopefully we can get this to trial and remove any sort of judicial interference.
Dude, is he like drunk? He's talking super fucking slowly and it's like he wants to take a nap.
So Frank Tufano had surgery with Dr. Taban, discovered the injury several months after the procedure when he was supposedly recovered. Dr. Taban said he could improve Frank's appearance. However, after the recovery period, Frank Tufano was left near blind with severe visual impairment. Dr. Taban lied directly to Frank Tufano about the risks of the procedure, the expected results, and immediately after the procedure, when Frank Tufano was clearly deformed, attempted to lie and mislead Frank Tufano that everything was okay. Talks a little about the website, Dr. Taban promoting himself as an expert, but he left me deformed and near blind, so he can't be that much of an expert. He did 4 procedures in total, and one important thing to note is that no other surgeons in the world are performing this orbital decompression procedure for cosmetic purposes. And in addition to Dr. Taban, there's several other institutions: Medical Board of California, American Academy of Ophthalmology, American Board of Cosmetic Surgery, American Society of Ophthalmic, Plastic, and Reconstructive Surgery, are full of highly trained and experienced professionals that would never consider or recommend this specific procedure of orbital decompression. So the lawsuit was filed against those organizations as well, because how could this guy be doing this for so long and botching so many people and not have someone step in to stop this? It's completely ridiculous.
Screw boy meets world or girl meets world. This is Frank meets world and fails to learn anything from it.
They should really make a reality TV show about Frank, and the producers of the show should approach him like really appealing to his narcissism, like, oh my god, you're like this visionary and this like amazing entrepreneur, and we want to tell the story about how you started this business and how you're like getting fucked over by like the Jews or something, and then get him riled up and like give him some good money for it and shit. And he's like, yeah, finally someone's recognizing my genius. And then just film him being an absolute fucking asshole and edit it in a way that makes him look like a complete dickhead. That'd be great. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
And then it said Frank Tufano has consulted with the top corrective surgeons in the world. I've listed about half a dozen surgeons that I've had consultations with, and this doctor, who performs hundreds of these surgeries per year, had never seen such severe damage as Frank Tufano had, and none of these doctors offered him any corrective options because of the highly unusual and never seen before damage that Dr. Taban had incurred on Frank Tufano. So then I go and say how crazy it is that he performed this surgery on me. Then I explain how I had 5 attempted corrective procedures as of November, and then I go on to explain, all the strabismus surgeries. I had all those procedures I had in New York to attempt to correct my vision. That's about half of this lawsuit is me explaining, the past year or so of me seeing doctors and trying to get the vision corrected and still having no luck with the cosmetic appearance. And then I basically said, at this point, the statute of limitations, we haven't been able to fully restore or correct my vision or physical appearance, so the lawsuit has to be filed. And although I'm still hopeful, for speaking to other doctors and maybe some more procedures in the future, at this point, it's completely ridiculous and unbelievable, because most people that have been botched haven't had any attempted corrective procedures. I'm at about 10, and we still have, if anyone is going to say that this can still be fixed or resolved or reversed, the top doctors in the world have said that it's not possible. Then I go to explain each of those groups. He's a member of the Medical Board of California that issues his license, American Academy of Ophthalmology, American Board of Cosmetic Surgery, Society of Ophthalmic Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery, and each of these organizations has some oversight and has played a role in his training. And as I said earlier, the fact that they're letting this doctor perform these surgeries on these people is completely disgusting. At least some of these organizations should be held accountable for his actions. Based on the standards of care, injury, and damages occurred to Frank Tufano over the course of his treatment with Dr. Taban, there's a clear misalignment with the professional standards and training portrayed by these professional medical associations. All of these associations have failed to recognize Dr. Taban's clear malpractice in their respective areas of expertise, whether it's a general procedure that should not be performed in a cosmetic application, having knowledge of surgical risks to be conveyed on the patient, performing cosmetic procedures with subpar skill level and high error rates, and clear lack of knowledge in treating complications arising from orbital surgery. So, I spent a lot of time on this. I did my best to write this lawsuit up. Then we just have jurisdiction, claim. Then the claims for relief are, based on the medical malpractice stuff, like informed consent. I was lied to about the risks of the procedure and expected results, and him upcharging me for an additional procedure the day I get there is ridiculous. One thing I don't think I mentioned is that he didn't take any measurements, and when I went to other doctors and these other oculoplastic surgeons, they took out these different medical devices and were measuring my eyes and stuff like that, but this guy is just winging it. Second claim for relief, surgical errors. He literally messed up every single procedure he.
Dude, literally, if you walk into a doctor's office and they're going to perform some complex procedure, and it's Dr. Ned from The Simpsons. Hi, everybody. So you want to get your eyes fucked up? Oh, yes, take the needle and go to sleep now. I cut your eyes. Oh, are you going to take any measurements? No. I'm just going to use my artistic skill to cut around your eyes and remove some tissue. It'll all be good. You go sleep now. You're really gonna fucking go under the knife when you get these weird red flags like that? Like, especially when you're putting down like 30 grand for a fucking procedure, it's like, yeah, if I get a whiff of anything fucking weird going into like a surgery like that, I'm fucking gone. It's just, none of it makes any sense. It just makes it sound like Frank is just fucking lying, because no sensible person is gonna go under the fucking knife when they're getting like these weird red flags about like a really unusual high risk fucking procedure that no one else fucking does.
He did on me. He didn't perform one of the 4 medical procedures correctly, and then in that claim I detail, hey, you know, in the upper eyelid ptosis it was asymmetrical, lower eyelid traction was asymmetrical, infraorbit everything was asymmetrical.
Is it Dr. Nick or Dr. Ned? Nick.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick, this malpractice committee has received a few complaints against you. Of the 160 gravest charges, the most troubling are performing major operations with a knife and fork from a seafood restaurant,
But I clean them with my napkin.
misuse of the cadavers,
I get here earlier when I drive in the carpool lane.
There's a crazy man with a scalpel in ER. He's demanding to see a quack.
Hi, everybody. Now, tell Dr. Nick where is the trouble.
I'm edgy. I got ants in my pants. I'm discombobulated. Give me a calmative.
Slow down, sir. You're going to give yourself skin failure. Okay. Now, the symptoms you describe point to bone.
It'll be funny if you literally charge 30 grand to put him under and then do nothing, afterwards pretending it's better.
What's interesting is there's actually pain studies that do that. So there are people who are complaining about like knee pain or elbow pain. And what they literally do is they put them under for a procedure. They just cut them a little bit with a knife, and then they don't actually do anything. They just make people think, oh, there's a wound there, so they performed a procedure. And then people report improvement of symptoms, even though they did absolutely nothing. So it could work for Frank. I mean, yeah, somebody could charge him 30 grand and then say, yeah, we fixed everything. And then he's like, oh, yeah, it's a little better. Thanks for the donation, Wandering Mason.
Bonus eruptus is a terrible disorder where the skeleton tries to leap out the mouth and escape the body.
No, you're talking.
Our one chance is transdental electromicide. I'll need a golf cart motor with... Keep doing that every 5 seconds.
Dr. Nick, we owe you an apology.
Yeah, Dr. Nick is good.
Didn't put it in correctly. And then the third claim was the injury, you know, the cross-eyed appearance, the permanent loss of vision, eye pain, headaches, nerve damage. And then the fourth claim is the damages, you know, me not really wanting to do YouTube anymore, me losing the income on my businesses. So based on the projected income of the next 20 years on my business, these organizations owe me a combined amount
Oh, here we go.
of $485 million.
No, dude. What? He's suing them for over 400 million?
These organizations owe me a combined amount of $485 million.
He's suing this doctor for $500 million. That's a little optimistic. Oh my god, that's so stupid. That is so fucking dumb, dude. If he were to say something like $250,000, like 250,000, even like 1 or 2 million or something, like it is his eyesight that got fucked up. $500 million. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? No one's gonna take this seriously.
Between each of the organizations, Dr. Taban at 33%, Medical Board of California at 33%, and the remaining 33% split between the 3 supervisory boards. So, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, as I've said several times, like this was the only option. None of these lawyers wanted to help me, and yeah, I could take out a line of credit to pay a lawyer, but
there you go. I knew it. He was trying to ask a lawyer to work for free on the basis that they'd get a percentage of whatever he won in the lawsuit. And obviously none of them are going to do that because the prospect of winning is really low. So he just admitted it. He can't afford a lawyer. It's not that they weren't willing to work for him.
The whole scope of everything, if a lawyer sees that, this YouTuber social media personality was severely disfigured and butchered with clear medical malpractice against the top eye surgeon in the world.
What Frank Tufano believes he would look like after obscure looks maxing surgeries LOL.
Yeah, it doesn't usually work out that way. Thanks for the donation, Cyrax.
Basically, the most successful and famous one. It's a no-brainer case. Like, you're gonna make a lot of money off this doctor because what he did was clearly wrong, and he has a lot of money that you can get from him. Like, to me, from the perspective of a lawyer, this is a no-brainer case. And the fact that
Nope. You were warned about the side effects ahead of time. You probably, even if you weren't warned about it verbally, guaranteed, without question, he signed a liability waiver. So, no, it's anything but a slam dunk case.
no one wanted to take it has me, 100% sure that these people are just going to try to defend him. So even if I did
CBI
take my own money to pay a lawyer, I would assume they're going to do what's been done to me in the past and purposefully mess up the case. Like all the legal issues I had with my business partner years ago and everything when starting, those issues were caused by a lawyer I hired that was actually working for the opposing counsel and was not working in my interest. So, it's kind of disgusting.
He's so full of shit, dude.
All these secret society members are just...
He's talking about the Jews again.
They're just disgusting, selfish people. You would think at some point someone would stand up, but at any point throughout, the entire almost 10 years now I've been on YouTube, there hasn't been one. There hasn't been one. I'm the only person I know with any sort of integrity and honesty that is on YouTube, because the actual people like that don't make it too far. Don't make it too far in this world in most cases. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
Thank you so much, L.
Is retarded. Highly, highly retarded.
I'd like to hear